The Thaumaturge released in 2024 for the PC through Steam and on both the Xbox and PlayStation consoles. I played it on the PlayStation 5, where it's available on PlayStation Plus with a subscription. If you want to purchase it, you can pick it up for about $35 US. With multiple endings and a 10 to 15 hour time to beat, is the Thaumaturge worth playing on console? This review is going to answer that question.
From whom?
My name is Viktor Szulski. Szulski. And Victor with a W, not a V.
Interesting name. Where's this headed?
Warsaw. Russia.
And this is supposedly Georgia. Russia here and Russia there. Russia everywhere, on every map.
Let's start by discussing the technical performance and the graphics. I would suggest playing Thaumaturge in performance mode rather than graphics mode. The minor upgrade in graphics is definitely not worth the stuttering camera movement, and the performance mode looks good enough. There are some stuttering sections, usually when you're transitioning the map as it loads in. For graphics, the game looks fine, although the character models could use some work. They have the problem of never really looking each other in the eye, almost like they're constantly talking past each other instead. Overall, the game runs and plays and looks fine, although it does feel as though it got rushed at the door a bit, but that really only shows in the story section, which is a good transition to talk about the narrative. You play as Victor, who is from Warsaw, Poland in 1905. You're a Thaumaturge, which is sort of like an empath mixed with a wizard. He can touch objects and find the history about them and their owners. He can also control salutors, which are like demons or ghosts that grant him different powers. When he was growing up, he had a salutor and tried to take a second one, which is not a good idea. He gets sick and goes looking for a miracle worker, who just happens to be Rasputin. I'm not going to go into spoilers here, but the game takes a while to really get going, and then it ends very suddenly. For about half the game's 12-hour length, I was wondering where this was all going and what the point of the story was. Then, in the second half, it seemed like the budget ran out or something, and the developers just needed to wrap everything up quickly. Things sort of just happen, and Victor gets swept along as events unfold. It doesn't help that you have the choice to make Victor good or evil, and who he trusts and how he approaches the story. This means you have a lot of choice in how you want to go through the narrative, but it also means that you might miss out on opportunities for information depending on how you play. Like I said before, the story feels slow at most moments and rushed at others. It felt like a 30 or 40 hour narrative pared down to 10 or 15, and it suffers from it. That said, the side quests are really good. Victor can find hints in the world of interesting things that are happening, and you can choose to ignore them or take part, solving mysteries, helping people, or being a nuisance depending on how you want to play the game. All in all, the story's good, but too short.
What have you learned, wizard?
Well, you're a zealous man. It permeates every level of your personality, your faith, your abilities.
Not such an impressive discovery.
I haven't finished yet. In Petersburg, you left behind a very devoted and very young lady-in-waiting.
At least one, my friend.
For gameplay, the Thaumaturge has three distinct parts. The first is exploration, where you control Victor through the environment from an isometric perspective, searching areas for clues. You can have him focus and snap his fingers, sending out this pulse that highlights interesting objects. It's here that you get hints on what to do, insights into people's history or personalities, and where you're supposed to go. The second part is conversations. Most of this game is just two people talking to each other, with the player selecting responses, which open up as Victor finds the information in the environment. The more you search, the different paths to the story you can take. Look, if you're the type of player that's looking for action, the Thaumaturge is mostly people talking to one another. The voice acting is good, but what you get out of this game relies on searching clues and information around you. If you're just trying to get to the next part, you're not going to enjoy the game. The third and final part is combat, and this is a mixed bag. Combat is really short and infrequent. It plays sort of like the Persona games, with Victor selecting his salutor that he would like to use in the fight, and then swapping between them to use their various abilities. Combat is turn-based and is fine, but it's definitely the weakest part of the game. You never get any different attacks to use or weapons or items. You can level up, upgrading your skills, but that just sort of changes the bonus to an attack rather than any stat increases. You might get a skill that lets you have a percentage of double damage or increase the chance of interrupting an enemy, but that's it. The Thaumaturge is less of an RPG than, say, Expedition 33 or Persona 5, which has similar gameplay.
Well, hello, Sleeping Beauty.
My head's about to explode. What the hell are we doing in front of my house?
the front steps got the better of you. But Victor, to hell with that. What a night we had.
All right, let's head into the pros and cons of the Thaumaturge. For the pros, the game has an interesting concept with a story that picks up, shifting and changing and throwing new things at you as you play. The characters are interesting, and depending on how much you interact with them, you can learn a lot about them. The side quests are almost more interesting than the main storyline. I highly encourage people to play through them. For the cons, the game starts slow and it does end abruptly. Depending on your choices, it can end really abruptly without even concluding the main story. Things happen, and if you don't take the time to find out why, the game might not even bother telling you. You need to seek out answers to your questions a lot of the time. The combat isn't great, and there wasn't enough RPG elements to make leveling up feel worth it to me. The game is really short. You can finish it in 10 hours if you focus on just the main storyline. And that's it for another review. So is the Thaumaturge worth playing? I would have to say yes, as long as you play it through PlayStation Plus or pick it up on a steep discount. I think $10 or $15 would be a good price to pay during a sale. I'm the Casual Console Gamer, and I'll see you all in the next review.